Engineer versus Designer is brought to you by the Mojo 3D printer. Now you can have 3D printing right at your desktop at a remarkably low cost. With the magic of Mojo, there's really no limit to your creativity. See it at mojo3dprinting.com.
Josh. Hey, Josh.
Yes.
Hey, Josh.
Yes.
If engineering had the radiant energy of the sun, you would cook raw eggs in their shells as you walked past them in the supermarket.
I have that effect. It's true. Welcome to Engineer versus Designer.
Podcast.
For product designers, engineers, and anyone who wants to share 3D data of their amazing creations over the internet. My name is Josh.
And my name is Adam, and I gotta say, I really like the idea of sharing a little bit of that 3D action with a whole bunch of peeps online.
Oh, yeah. Well, dear Adam, you are in luck. This week we talk with Nitin Rao. He and the Sunglass.io crew are making it possible for you to put over 40 different 3D file formats online.
What? 40? No way.
Yep, in real time.
What? That's not even possible.
And share them.
For real?
Simultaneously with multiple people.
I don't believe that.
Believe it.
Oh, people. Well, apparently it's true, folks. They just received $1.7 million in funding, and they were one of the top presentations at this year's TechCrunch Disrupt.
And they even have new SolidWorks, SketchUp, Rhino, and processing plugins available right now, and an API that allows you to export your models directly to the Sunglass.io web interface.
Could you hear how fast my heart was beating just then when you said that?
Yes, it's exciting stuff.
I was seizing up.
I've stopped breathing right now.
It's true, people. I wouldn't lie to you, and Josh might lie to you, but he's not lying to you in this case.
No, not at all. I wouldn't lie to them, ever. You might.
Speaking of things that are not lies, we did have a chance to talk to this guy, so let's roll that tape.
Well, we have a very important question to start off the interview. If you could experience the world in full augmented reality, digital 3D, but in order to do so, you had to replace your head with an 80s CRT computer monitor, would you do it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, you are not a true geek. At least we know what we're dealing with. Okay, so to catch everybody up, we've been following Sunglass.io for quite a while now, obviously. But for those who haven't been following, what is Sunglass.io in 30 seconds, and how is that going to change the world?
Sure. So Sunglass is an MIT startup working to democratize access to design. To begin with, we're a browser-based platform for real-time collaboration. So you can work with our vision is that you can work with any other designer on any product from any device.
And working in 3D, in full 3D.
In full 3D. So we want to make 3D fast, easy, accessible.
Oh, very good. So since we talked to you gents last, you've had a lot of development, just tons of it. And you've received a big round of funding, $1.7 million. So what's been going on at Sunglass since?
Sure. So Sunglass is a platform. And so we've been working to build different parts of the platform. So there's there's what we call the stage. So a completely browser-based environment for collaboration. You don't need any plugins. It works. You can use Google Chrome, and you can have multiple people working together. So we work to improve that interface. You can now do voice calls for free within that same environment. We work with 45 different file formats, so you're not encumbered by that.
34 file formats.
44.
Wow.
And you can also bring in run analysis away from your thin client. So we've got a cloud render as an example, and so you can switch on the render and you can keep working. So pretty excited about those, and there's a lot more.
So this is just incredible. You're working in a three-dimensional space. Anybody who's used CAD is familiar with that, except you're doing it in a browser, and you have as many, I think up to 1 million people working simultaneously on a single document. So you're seeing things that other people are doing in real time, just like you're working on a Google Doc. That's just incredible.
Yeah, no, we fully expect to be surprised by where people will take it. So pretty soon we'll be launching something we call open projects, hard problems that we're really throwing out to the world, and interested to see, where people will take those. So we think there's a lot of value in bringing in people with different skill sets.
I mean, it all sounds amazing. What's the end game here? What's the ultimate goal for Sunglass IO? Are you working toward a system for engineering, visualization, simulation, animation, hacker/maker people, or something else altogether?
Sure. So we call ourselves Sunglass because we think a sunglass is a way of looking at the world, and we need multiplicities of perspectives. So really, I think the days of saying if you're a hobbyist, turn left; if you're a senior designer, turn right, is both archaic and borderline insulting. Because just look around at what's being made, and so if anything, we want to be a bridge and bring those together. We think it's exciting if you can play with any 3D model in any format. You can simulate right there in the same environment, and you can take those results and do something with it. So it's bringing these different pieces of modeling, analysis, publishing, prototyping together in a shared space and making it really device agnostic, channel agnostic. That's exciting for us.
Yeah, that is exciting. So right now, this very second, how are people using Sunglass.io, and where does it fit best in the overall design and engineering process?
Sure. So it's designed. So Sunglass is visualized for being helpful at the early stage of design. When you really don't need 6 decimal of accuracy, you want quick feedback on your work. To begin with, a lot of people are using Sunglass to. Everyone who's been a supporter of our beta program is using Sunglass to either share their work because they now have mobility, they can access it on the go, or to run collaborative sessions with other people. To begin with, people are seeing this as a collaboration platform, and they're discovering new features as they're added.
Now, you guys, but right now you're not doing any modeling. As far as I know, you're not doing any mechanical assembly in terms of assembly relationships, hinges, gears, cams, all that kind of stuff. And it's also completely browser-based. It's running in WebGL, and you can render all the 3D data without a plugin, which is really cool. But how would you talk about the long-term viability of this as a tool? Do you see it becoming a modeling and assembly and all that stuff platform, or how do you see this evolving?
So really the question starts with the pain points we see around us. We want to be the GitHub of 3D. For GitHub in computer science, you're programming in different developer environments, and GitHub manages interoperability seamlessly. We think that's very exciting, and we see the opportunity to do that in 3D. After all, right now, 2 in 3 designers are rebuilding the same model format to format, and that's not design. That's a distraction from design. File exchange is a distraction from design. So today we're announcing integration to start with simple plugins into SolidWorks, Rhino, SketchUp, and processing, and also making it super easy to directly bring in files from your Dropbox, Box, Gmail, or your desktop. And so people will continue to model in those environments. And really what we're going to focus on is we're going to work on streaming, working with files of massively large files that typically slow down your computer. A version control, being able to seamlessly go back and forth and say, hey, that version on Sunday at 3 p.m., let's go to that one. We think that's exciting. There's also an application layer. And so across those different spaces, modeling, rendering, analysis, prototyping, we're thrilled that we're coming across fantastic ideas that are being built as apps on the Sunglass platform. And so they will launch and be offered on a pay-per-use basis in the next several months. So very complementary to the tools that already exist. We like them.
So this is taking a model direct from, say, like SolidWorks, direct from that interface into Sunglass.io.
Yeah. And in fact, the idea of modeling is changing. There's some great 3D reconstruction tools, for example. They're great repositories out there. And so people will really pick what their starting point is. And if they choose to bring in from existing modeling tools, that's something we want to support.
So what you're describing, it's sort of like a PDM system. Maybe it's not managing all the files, but you're doing version control.
But it's a lot more visual. Big companies like Autodesk and Dassault are already developing and have web-based PDM systems.
Yeah.
So they're kind of there to an extent, but not
So,
like you guys.
yeah, no, we like hard. So we're built on hard engineering problems,
Mhm.
and it's one thing to do it at a to just like see a bunch of files as folders. It's another thing if you can go deeper. So we can do the difference between two 3D models, and because of that, we let you sort of seamlessly move between different versions as the file evolves, so that you can just focus on doing what you do best. And so those are very hard, non-trivial problems to solve. That's why those solutions don't exist right now. And so it would go way beyond a simple a management system, which is
Right.
complex in itself. But
I mean, do you think that that's a permanent state of being? I mean, there are lots of smaller startups that are kind of paving the way for this kind of innovation. But do you think that will continue to be true into the future? Will you always be one step ahead, or are the big guys going to catch up to you?
well, even amongst the big guys, I think there's a lot of diversity. There are some companies that clearly get it and they're investing in the right spaces, and there are others that aren't as yet. But I do think so. I think startups will be are designed to be more experimental spaces, and so
I'm sorry, I have to ask, who are the big players that get it, in your opinion?
Um, I mean, I think like Autodesk has AutoCAD WS. I think that's an interesting step. They're working with Singularity University, for example. So they're working with smart people who are going to challenge the status quo, and I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd have to agree on that. Also, are we going to be shifting geometry, creating functional products with our hands in the near future? I want to find out what you think about this, because you see like things like the Connect Fusion, and then what you guys are doing. You think of putting those two together, and suddenly you have a way to do generative design with hands-free interaction. So, do you think that's the future of design and engineering?
Absolutely. In fact, we've got at least two top universities where there are gesture-based apps that are being built for Sunglass, and I don't expect them to be amongst the first to be released, but there will be interesting stuff coming up. We think. There's so many exciting products. Like there's coming out. Like Leap Motion is cool. I think there's the Techstars Connect class in Seattle. There are a lot of interesting ideas that are going to come out. And we're excited about them. We want to partner with them.
So far we've been talking about the big picture here, and I mean, it is really exciting stuff. I mean, this is fantastic. But I guess as I listen to this, I just get all excited about what could I actually do with Sunglass, and frankly, I'm not sure. Can you tell me, like, what could I do with Sunglass today? What's something that I could get out there and do with it?
Sure. So
right now.
Yeah. So right now you can bring in your model from in any file format. And you can have a collaborative session with anybody else, anywhere.
Okay, what does that mean? You have a collaborative session. What does that mean? What are you doing in this collaborative session?
So you can use, for example, something called the broadcast mode, and you can take over the other person's screen and guide them through specific parts of the model. And both of you can be making changes. And then at the end of the broadcast mode, they can decide whether to keep your version or to keep their version.
And what kind of changes are you making? You're just taking components and moving them around? Is that about the extent of it at this point, or what else can you do?
So to begin with, we've got simpler transformations. You can change the dimensions. You can move. You can rotate, and that'll keep getting broader. They'll keep getting a lot broader. But just to give you an example of sort of something we're working on, and you'll see a little bit of this on Thursday, we're working on an architecture that supports sort of massively complex projects, and so you'll be able to really enable different people to work on different pieces of a complex project.
See, that's actually really
Wow.
exciting. You could open a file that would crash your computer with smoke coming out the sides of it. You can open that up in Sunglass, let the Amazon servers deal with it, or whoever. Is that what you're using? Are you using what server platform are you guys using?
Yeah. So we work with Amazon right now, and increasingly we'll be the great opportunities to even use supercomputing capabilities, and and so we'll use the fastest resource we can make available. So really the difference is sort of as you run a Sunglass app. So let's say take rendering. Instead of paying $1,500, getting it on your desktop, and then it slows your desktop. Now you'll be able to either through a plugin like in the future, either through a plugin in your desktop in your regular environment, or through the Sunglass browser environment. You can get a render for $75 a month, and you're also paying for compute cycles. So you're also paying
Wow.
for executions that are done away from your thin client.
Instead of the CPU burning a hole in my desk, I can just offload that. It's amazing.
Yeah, sounds nice. So I'm also wondering, with so many kids getting their hands dirty with making things these days and becoming more interested in design and engineering, how is Sunglass approaching the younger generations?
Yeah, and the younger generations are gonna that's where new ideas will come from. So to start with, we're working with a number of universities. We're going to be in MIT's curriculum, for example. We're doing these fun projects where students from multiple schools collaborate and build together, and we want to see what comes out of that. We're gonna, I think they're great high school programs. Like Dean Kamen's FIRST is an example. We're always looking for ways to be involved in these programs. I mean, take Scratch, for example, from the MIT Media Lab. The average age of a user is 14, I think. Visual programming. So Scratch 3D is launching on Sunglass. As these tools come out, a big chunk of the user group will be very young.
Wow. Very, very cool, Nitin. Having you on this show has been even better than that time Adam tied 10 Saturn missile batteries to his chest and ran through the zoo screaming like an angry zebra. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, Josh,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about this, and
Yeah.
for heaven's sake, I mean, what, like sending an e-drawings file or something just seems like last week's news. I am totally using Sunglass.io to share these models with my clients from now on.
Totally, and no web browser plugin needed at all. It's not been done before.
Unbelievable.
First time. So freaking awesome.
Changing the way we do business, people.
Oh, yeah. EVD listeners, if you would like to send Saturn missile batteries to EVDHQ, please address them to Adam.
And if you would like to send lots of tape to EVD, please address that to me as well.
Yep, he'll need it.
Send us your comments, call us names, and let us know how you really feel. Head over to EngineerVsDesigner.com and write on our wall at Facebook for everybody to see.
Oh, yes, please do. Also, be sure to like us, +1 us, tweet us, or whatever else us, because it makes our parents call and ask us what we're doing with our lives.
This show is edited by Simon Martin. Our theme music is by Ross Hartman.
We'll see you next week, and remember, you can hold your breath till you turn red, but the real contest begins when you can take a punch to the solar plexus and not pass out.
Wait, can you say that again? I'm writing that down.
Do you take my lemonade?
Look out! Engineer vs. Designer is brought to you by Mojo 3D Printer, a world-class professional 3D printer for only $185 a month. To find out how you can give your big idea a little mojo, visit mojo3dprinting.com.
A production of EVD Media.